Hi, cyberspace. So, a little over a week ago, actually, probably closer to 2 weeks ago, Empire Magazine, which is this British media magazine, it's kind of like British version of Entertainment Weekly, only it's way cooler and its information is, way more awesome, I guess, because it's British. But anyway, it's online magazine thing posted this article about The Hobbit, the movie that's coming out in 2012. And I was going to vlog about this a while ago, like right when the article came out, but George R. R. Martin, Game of Thrones, Hamlet, kind of got in the way. I decided I'd make that vlog today. So I think I've mentioned what a huge fan of The Hobbit I am, right? I have mentioned that, right? If I haven't mentioned it, or if we don't remember me mentioning it, or if you're new. My new subscribers, by the way, you guys know that you totally made my day just by pushing that yellow button, right? I'm a huge fan of The Hobbit. The Christmas that I was, I think, 5, my dad read it out loud to me. And then the next Christmas, he read it out loud, and the next one. And it kind of just became like this thing that we did at Christmas. We took a week, and every night we would read a little bit of The Hobbit. I think it was like 5th grade or something, we finally just stopped, and I just decided I'd read it by myself. So I have read The Hobbit every year at Christmas since I was 5 years old. I'm a little bit obsessed with this book. So the point of this blog, the Empire article, what can you expect to see in the Hobbit movie and what won't make the final cut? So there were 7 things in the article, and I'll leave a link to the article in the doobly-doo so that you can actually read the article for yourself. I had a pretty strong reaction to this article, like part of my brain was going like, ah! And the other part of me was going, oh god, this is what they're saying? So I thought I'd share these opinions with you. So here we go. The first thing on their list was Gandalf tricking the trolls. Gandalf uses ventriloquism and tricks the trolls into staying out all night and arguing until the sun comes up and they turn to stone. And that's a huge part of the book. It's the first major encounter that the dwarves and Bilbo have with the dangers of the road. But at the same time, it's really light and funny, and trolls have these Cockney accents and they're absolutely hysterical. Empire article was talking about how they were going to change it because the trolls in the Lord of the Rings movies, extended versions by the way, are so much better than theatrical versions, and if you don't know what I'm talking about, then you are not a nerd, get out, are darker and more evil, and they can stay out in the sun all as long as they want and not turn to stone. And so they're like, oh, they might change up the trolls. And my brain is sitting there going, no, 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 you can't. Because A, there's different types of trolls. I mean, there's just so many different types of trolls. It's these are Cockney, stupid trolls are just a different race of trolls than the Oleg High, the evil Sauron sunlight immune trolls. So why can't we just have stupid trolls? And my other thought was, no, they have to freeze in the sunlight, because if they don't freeze in the sun, then that entire scene in the Fellowship movie that they shot in front of the stone trolls will be a complete waste of time. Second thing is Riddles in the Dark, which is obviously going to be in the movie. It's probably the most famous scene in fantasy literature ever. It's when Bilbo and Gollum have their riddle contest down by the lake underground under the Misty Mountains. Obviously it's going to be in there. It's super important. Empire went on to complain because there was that 2-second clip in the prologue of the Fellowship movie of Ian Holm, who plays Bilbo in the Lord of the Rings. They had a make-up to him and CG'd him younger and put him in the prologue. It's this 2-second clip of him finding the ring. And Empire's going on about, is Martin Freeman gonna be able to replicate Ian Holm's performance in that 2-second clip in the prologue without confusing everyone? And it's just seriously? Okay, I know continuity is one thing, but at the same time, really? It's 2 seconds in the prologue. I don't think anyone's gonna care, let alone get confused. Third thing is the Battle of the Five Armies, which, okay, that's the climax. That's obviously gonna be in there. We're talking about how Weta is gonna have a fun time getting all these armies in, the goblins and the wargs and the elves and the dwarves, and I was just there's no mention anywhere here about the eagles. And without the eagles, it's the battle of 4 armies, not 5. So the fourth thing on Empire's list was Bjorn. Basically Bjorn is made out of whin. I love him. I mean, he's kind of only in one chapter and he's not uber important. He shows up at the Battle of Five Armies. He's this guy who turns into a bear, and Empire is freaking out because they're oh, will Weta be able to do the transformation without making it look ridiculous? And we never actually see him transform. I mean, we see him as a man and we see him as a bear, but we never actually see the shift from man to bear. So why worry? Problem solved. The fifth thing on the list is they're complaining about the Raven at the Lonely Mountain, Roic, son of Croc. Like, oh, can the CG people make it so that the Raven doesn't look completely ridiculous and stupid? And I mean, talking animals in movies are always stupid. And my thought is, well, the talking animals in Narnia were actually really well done and looked realistic. So I don't know why it would be such a problem to have the Raven. And also, the Raven is the one that tells the dwarves that the dragon is dead. So kind of important, kind of needs to be in there. The sixth thing, I can't even believe they wasted a paragraph of the article on this. I mean, it's just ridiculous. They were talking about how the song that the elves sing when the dwarves arrive in Rivendell is not going to be in the movie. It's like, yeah, obviously. I mean, that's probably the part of the book that everybody gets to the song, skips the song, and keeps reading. I mean, it's like, obviously. Seventh thing, and last thing, Bard killing Smaug, which obviously is super important. Like the point of the book, basically. So obviously it's going to be in there, but what Empire's saying is that his famous speech to his arrow, if ever you were forged under the mountain, then fly true into the heart of this beast now, or something like that. I'm probably mashing it horribly, but it's not important, but it's so quintessentially Tolkien that they're like, oh yeah, it's not going to make the cut, speeches to inanimate objects are stupid, and it's kind of like, yeah, but that's kind of how Tolkien writes. It would be really a nice thing to have in the movie to say like, yes, look, we read the book, you know, we are fans of Tolkien, this is Tolkien who wrote this, you know, but they're all like, oh no, that's not going to be in there. And the other thing about that is they were talking about the talking animals looking ridiculous, and the thrush is the one that tells Bard how to kill the dragon, that says, you know, hey look, there's the hole in his armor, you might want to aim for that. And if the thrush doesn't tell Bard, then how the heck is the dragon going to die? So there had better be at least 2 talking animals other than the eagles in this movie. Just throwing that out there. So yeah, that was the Empire magazine article and my reaction and opinions to it. I'm gonna keep being nerdy and obsessing over something that isn't going to be out for probably close to 2 years. You keep being nerdy, and I'll see you next Wednesday. Bye!